Hey there, Variety here. Welcome to today's video in which we're going to be doing buffs for raiding or preparation for raiding, by obtaining various buffs. So today's video is going to talk about the different types of items that you can take into a raid, such as potions, different kinds of fish, and stuff like that to make your raiding experience that little bit smoother. Thankfully, Tarisland nerfs the bosses by 15% strength about a day, I believe it is, after the raid boss goes down, as well as your gear gets more powerful pretty quickly. So most people can, pretty efficiently clear the raid within 1 week of it releasing. Even if you're a little bit behind, you work a full-time job and you can only play, here and there, you can clear the content just a little bit behind everybody else. So I'm really thankful the game offers a more ability for casuals to be able to, do the raids as well, not just people that are, spending all of their time in the game. In saying this, I have opened a Discord channel today, which you can join beneath. And if you have any extra information, such as, fish that I've missed or any buffs or anything like that, I'd appreciate the feedback so I can, add them to the list so everybody can enjoy the Tarisland gameplay together. Okay, so let's go and have a look at those buffs. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to talk about potions, and I'm going to show you a bit of a sly way to find items, even though they're not necessarily on the market. So what you can do is you open up your market interface, and you go down to order, right? So the game thinks you're ordering an item. So every item must be available to order, right? So even if items aren't for sale yet, you can see them all in the order section. So it's actually a good way to see all the items that are currently available. So let's go down to the potion section. Okay, so potions come in 4 different sections in my opinion. You have healing potions, you have lasting potions, you have mixing potions, and you have burst potions. I will do them in order so as not to confuse people. Okay, so the first one is healing potions. I'm sure most of you already know what this is. You go in here, go to the Manual Destiny shop, you go to hot items, and you buy your potions. I probably use 30 or 40 of these a day. It's actually pretty crazy how many of these I go through. So make sure you're always sitting on them. And yeah, they do unfortunately cost quite a bit of silver, which is why I'm broke. So that's your healing pot. One of them anyway. So the other thing we're going to look at is lasting potion. So let's have a look at the lasting potion. We'll open up the potion, go into lasting. So just to note that all of these potions and their effects are on the spreadsheet below the video as always. So please do check it out because I do try to put as much information as I can on there to really help people out. So these are lasting potions, right? Think of them as like long-term buff potions. So for example, the one that I use is, here we go, intermediate defense potion. So it gives me 1165 HP, a glancing chance plus 1%, that's great, and focus for 30 minutes, right? So this is like, about 70 gold for 30 minutes worth of raid time. And then here you have the intermediate attack, which is only 19 gold. If you're absolutely broke, you can use the higher potions up here, but I would definitely recommend these if you're doing like elite or above. So the second type of potion is a mixture potion. So the mixture potions are raid-wide buffs. Like feasts, for example, in World of Warcraft, you put it down, one person does it, and everybody can eat or drink from it. And they'll get more attack, more HP, and more focus for 1 hour, right? You can stack these with the lasting potions. Next up, we have burst potions. So burst potions come in 2 different sections. So the first one, it boosts your attack. So when we're raiding, we'll use like 2 to 3 high energy potions on our DPS per pull. Because you use them in your bursting phase and it actually gives you a lot of power. Here we have the shield potion. It's something you can use against bosses to get a bit more physical defense against big mechanics. It's something that I use occasionally, but it's not something I use extremely often. I have other ways to get around boss mechanics. Okay, so now that we've talked about potions, let's go and have a look at an extra that you should have a look at. So something that I've found both in dungeons and raids is that sometimes, unfortunately, the healer is indeed at fault. I love blaming healers, but the majority of the time it's not actually their fault. But a healer will die. So you need to make sure that you'll be able to revive the healer. So one of the expectations for going into a raid, which many people fail at, is to bring a resurrect item. So basically you can get this and use it on a person in a raid and you can revive them. Obviously, most of the time you won't use this. These are kind of expensive, so you would only use it if the healer goes down. Anyone else, the healer should be getting up. Okay, so that's probably the only main item you should take like that, because the other items are bomb, and quite frankly, it's kind of pointless. So as long as you have that on your bar, you should be good. Now let's talk about food. So right now, there is a food event going on. You can see when it's going to end by going up to here, going to gameplay overview, hitting the weekly calendar, and you can see down here that here's the food festival. So it's going to go for a couple more days. So each day that the food festival is unlocked, it's unlocking higher and higher level food. So you can go under here and click here to see all the food that is available. Generally, it feels like the food is getting better as you go across. When the last ones are unlocked, I'll put this all in the spreadsheet so you can see exactly what they do. But pretty much all you do is you hit obtain now, and it'll take you to where you need to go to get the items. And then you cook said items. What you need to keep in mind is that you can use one from each category. So for example, think of these as different categories. Each of these lines, you can eat one from line 1, one from line 2, and one from line 3 at the same time. Right? So for example, this one isn't necessarily, static stats, right? These are things like shrink in size and stuff like that, so it doesn't really matter. But you have here like attack increase, crit level increase, combo level increase, all great for DPS. Glancing level increase, this gives me plus 50 glancing, which was great. Defense increase, I got some, didn't really use it. And HP increase, honestly, it was minimal, and I would definitely use the glancing one if I had a choice. So we'll see which ones open up tomorrow. So you can stack the food on top of your potions, right? It's not one or the other, it's both. Okay, so next, let's go and have a look at the fish. Next up, let's talk about fishy. So, fish. Something you gain from fishing, obviously, duh. However, there are a lot of different types of fish. So many different types of fish. Honestly, it's quite frustrating. So down here, you're going to see all the cooking items that you get from fishing and various other things for the cooking event that we talked about earlier. And up here, you're going to have various types of fish. There are way more fish than this, and I don't have them all on my bar. So there are different fish that buff you. There are ones that give you like damage reflection. But for right now, I'm just going to talk about 2. I'm going to put all of the fish on a fish spreadsheet, which I only just opened today, so it's going to take a bit of time before I get that done. But for today, I just want to talk about 2 main fish that I, seek to take into a raid to help me as a tank. The first one is going to be the slippery fish. So the slippery fish can be gained by fishing with green bait in the misty forest. Ignore the description. The description says it'll randomly increase or decrease your HP by 15 to 30%. Technically, it could be correct, but I've used probably 10 fish and I've never lost HP. I use these as a second HP potion in the raid. So, I heal with my HP pot and I don't have enough health. I use this on top because they don't share a cooldown to give myself a bigger heal to get through a big raid mechanic. Obviously, these are a lot harder to get than the potions. So you'd always use potions first and only use these in emergency. But, they can really help out basically having a second potion. The second one I want to talk about is the colorful fish. So this one adds a 5% shield. It's obviously not as powerful as a slippery fish because it's only 5%. But, it is still something you can use to block against a raid mechanic. As I mentioned, there are other fish, for example, cooldown, focus, on me points, recovers 1 HP, for every 10 seconds. These are all okay. These are kind of min-maxing, but the 2 I mentioned are definitely the most important for, the tanking class. As I did mention, I am trying to fill out a fish spreadsheet. Hopefully that will be done soon, and you will be able to see the fish that are great for your class as well. Okay, so just a bit of an overview of what we went over today, okay? So, you are able to stack potions, which are located up here. You can take a lasting potion, which lasts half an hour. You can stack on the top of the mixture potion, which gets put on the ground. And you use a burst potion for a short-term burst of shield and, attack energy. Then you have the extra, which is the revive. Then you have the food, which is in the food event, and that you can take multiple foods at once, which is located up here in the food festival. You can check it in here. And the last thing is the fish that we spoke about. So these are various things that you can use to help buff you for raids. If I've missed anything, please do let me know. I am more than open to feedback for extra items you can take into raids, so I can include them in the spreadsheet for everybody to enjoy. On that note, though, I think I've shared basically everything I need to share for Raid Bus for today. I will see you with tomorrow's video, which will be the next Raid Guide. Thanks for watching.